3, 2, 1. What is up? Quarantine Hangs episode 5. Jer here. How's everybody doing right now? Thanks to Marv for Daily Riff. It's weird sitting here trying to wait for the clock to count down to go live. I swear to God, I get a touch more anxiety doing this than I do playing a show. It's fucking weird. It's not right. Anyone sick of the live streams yet? I don't mean ours. I mean, just in general, this whole internet bombast of nonstop acoustic guitar live stream stuff. I mean, I know we're doing it too, so I get it. But holy fuck, the onslaught. I mean, I know people need to be entertained. Is anyone else sick of seeing rich people having a fucking blast in their mansions on Instagram? Is this just me? Am I just getting too cooped up in my own place and getting too pessimistic and shit? Like, if I see one more fucking NHL player bench press his girlfriend in his mansion, I'm gonna have to unfollow all my hockey Instagram shit. It's starting to drive me fucking crazy. I'm sorry. I mean, admittedly, I'm a salty bastard. Okay, so don't take my cynicism too far. I gotta get out of the house. I gotta wait till midnight and go walk around the block or something, get some fresh air, because I'm just getting salty. Anyways, oh look, we got lots of people in here. That's great. Who else is going on Netflix and just looking through shit for 15 minutes and then just ends up binging The Office again for the 19th time? Is that just me? Am I the only one? I feel like I've watched The Office. I get to the season where Michael leaves, and then I just stop watching, and then I start over from the beginning again. And then if I fall asleep halfway through an episode, and it tucks me in every night. Am I the only one? Fuck. I hope everyone's doing good out there. I gotta throw a huge shout out from Monster Truck to all the frontline health workers out there that are putting themselves into danger. I mean, not just in the danger of COVID-19, but just the general daily grind of going to work is instantly become much more treacherous for them. And I don't even, you get locked in your house and you get stuck in so deep that, you forget all the crazy shit that's going on out there sometimes, unless you're reading the news every 5 seconds, which is a bad idea. But goddamn, the gratitude that we all need to have for all the healthcare workers out there literally putting themselves into the fucking trenches to not only help the people who have been infected, but the people who are just in the hospital for any reason whatsoever, and the mix and the craziness that must be going on in there. Our hearts go out to you. Our gratitude goes out to you. We can't stress enough how much we appreciate the sacrifice that's going on all over the place. Whew. So that's that. Sorry to get heavy right off the bat with you there, people, but god damn it, it's fucking nuts out there. Let's take some comments. Ozark. Everyone's watching Ozark. Ozark has been around for fucking ever. Listen, I'm not saying Ozark is bad, but the bar has certainly been lowered a little bit for what we're going to watch on Netflix, right? Like Tiger King, no fucking chance that show does as well in the face of a healthy world, right? Oh, Sarah Bishop says we clap for health workers as a country at certain times. Yes, but at the same time, as someone who's gone through the healthcare system, and I have multiple times, I always have the utmost gratitude, especially for our system in Canada, because I've had at least 2 surgeries that would have forced my family to remortgage their house to have them in the time that I had them when I was a kid, and I've spent, I don't know, probably at least cumulatively over my lifetime, at least 3 to 4 months in the hospital dealing with multiple things I had as a kid. One of them was open heart surgery. So if anyone gets what's going on in the hospital, my sister's a nurse. I get it. I've always got it. I will always get it because I've had to spend some serious time in there, and it fucking sucks. Whew. Oh, what else we got going on here? Dragon Ball Super, Sildozer. I'm almost done with 120 episodes of Dragon Ball Super. God damn it. That is a perfect example of the bar getting lowered for what you're willing to watch on television when you can't leave your house. We got a good episode today. Let's just go there. Fuck. We got some new tunes from Marv's solo project, J. Harvey and the Inner Demons. I'm going to be playing that next. Starting next week with these episodes, we're going to be having Steve interview some people. He's got a great list of awesome guests that are going to be coming on the show, and he's going to give me a break from doing the interviews. And Steve's kind of a lot cooler and more social and just generally more interactive with human beings than I am. So he has just a great list of friends and people that he can talk to. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that on. Everyone keeps talking about the fucking crap, the Netflix quality being crap. Mine, and I don't know if I'm like the guy guzzling the internet with Xbox Live and Netflix. My internet is fucking banging, like, for everything. And I don't know if it's because you guys are using Bell and Rogers and shit. You gotta stop using these fucking companies in Canada. They are fucking brutal. There's such great internet service providers that buy off of the big boys and then resell it for half the price. I use Start, but any of the third-party ISPs are a better option than Bell and Rogers and Cogeco and anyone else that you're using that are the big three. All they do is fucking spend their money to try and lobby the government to allow them more control and allow themselves to make more money giving you a basic service, which is, at the end of the day, internet has now, especially more than ever, is an essential service, and people need to fucking understand that Bell's the biggest perpetrator of them, the biggest group of fucking pirate asshole dickheads trying to drive up internet prices, restrict the content that you can see, crush down the bandwidth so you have to pay more money to open it up. They're the bad guy. Sorry, just had to quick rant there about that. You have to know that. Go to Open Media, Google Open Media. They got all the information you need to find out about. It's fucking out of control. Start.ca, Tech Savvy, any of those ones. Better option. Anyway, sorry, that was a crazy tangent. I'm also going to be playing some shit today on the show. We're going to be doing, I'm going to be showing an interview I did in Germany on the Sit and Heavy cycle that I thought was pretty cool. It's only got 1,000 views on YouTube. A lot of times we do these interviews on the road and then they just don't seem to get out. Maybe because we're not a big enough band, but also because at the end of the day, there's just so much shit to watch on the internet. You can't expect everybody to see everything. So I'm going to give that a little love. Yeah. Brad Orgel, I do not care about the tiger guy. You really should. I mean, I watched it, but at the end of the day, they're all pieces of shit. They're all abusing animals. They're all fucking just out to fucking lunch. It's bad. It's bad people doing bad things. Really bad. Just bad. Okay, so that's enough of Jer rants for now, right? We don't need to hear me fucking gripe on about shit. I'm in a salty mood. I ate a bad shrimp burger last night. I'm not feeling 100%. Let's just get to the content and let me shut the fuck up for once. Let's go to Marv. This is a new song from Marv. It's his solo project's called J. Harvey and the Inner Demons. I hope you dig it because it's fucking awesome. There's a link in the description of the YouTube thing. The YouTube description has got a link to his YouTube page where he posts all the daily riffs, and he's got other great content up there. If you're on Facebook, just Google J. Harvey and the Inner Demons YouTube, and you can see Marv's new solo project. Here we go.
My baby's love gon' let me down. His love gon' lift me up. My baby's love gon' let me down. I've been crying all my years, waiting for you to come round here and wipe away all my tears. I've been crying all my days, baby girl, you got something that I know I just can't Come on, fill me up. Don't let me down. Come on, fill me up. Don't let me down. I was less than broke, my whole life a joke. Everything was gone in a puff of smoke. But you saw in me how good life could be. Gave you everything I need for free. Where would it be without you? Just a poor soul with the blues. Where would I be without you? I'm glad I never have to choose. I've been crying all my years, waiting for you to come round here and wipe away all my tears. I've been crying all my days. Baby girl, you got something that I know I just can't replace. I've been crying all my years, waiting for you to come round here and wipe away all my tears. I've been crying all my days. Baby girl, you got something that I know I just can't replace. Come on. Is love gon' lift me up, my baby? Is love gon' let me down? Is love gon' lift me up, my baby? Is love gon' let me down?
There we go. Marv. Sorry, J. Harvey and the Inner Demons. I can't not call him fucking Marv, but J. Harvey and the Inner Demons. Follow him on YouTube. Link is in the description. Yeah. And fuck, today we got Luke Bentham from the Dirty NIL. I've been trying to get him for a little bit. He's a busy guy. He's got stuff going on. He's coming on today. I appreciate that. He's a very smart dude. We did a tour with him and the boys and Billy Talent in Canada a couple years ago. I don't know if any of y'all were at that. I'm sure you were. But yeah, super stoked to have him on today. I'm going to throw to a quick interview that I did in Germany that I thought was neat, that probably didn't get seen by a lot of people because that's just the nature of things. I'm going to throw that now, and then I'm going to call Luke up, and we're going to talk to him. That's it. Let's go.
The tour itself is the special thing. I mean, we're still relatively new in Europe, and so just being able to come over here and play our songs and have people of different nationalities singing along and supporting the band, buying merch, being at the shows in general is just really fun for us. It's something I don't think any of us ever really imagined to be a part of at the, with this band or any band in our, in our 30s. And so, making the flight over here and then coming to these venues and seeing, that they're sold out in advance and that they're, people have got their tour shirts on from the last time we were here, and now there's even more people, and we've got a new record and they already know the new songs. That in itself is the whole magic of this. We don't really have anyone out on the road that we don't want to be around personally. So there's a friendship level there with almost everyone that comes on tour with us, as well as this like professional work ethic where it's like we try and reflect, we want them to reflect our work ethic. We're always, working extra hard to make sure, our gear is right and the show is tight and that, everything is proper with the performance. And so that kind of like, we want to see that same kind of effort from everyone that is on the crew. I used to get on the road and feel frustrated by having to be around people all the time and not having any time to myself. And I used to be a lot more of an introverted kind of person where I just really didn't want to be in a big group of people, and I didn't want to have to be like social with people all the time. And I kind of appreciate the fact that touring has like pushed me out of that comfort zone, and now I actually I'm quite good at being around people and like constantly having to be social. I know I'm probably not as good as other people are in the band at it, but it's definitely like leaps and bounds from where I was as in my like young 20s before I started touring. I think I had a very closed-minded and kind of antisocial and introverted kind of just stick to myself and what I like kind of vibe. Whereas now I think I've shaken a lot of that. If there's anything that's a pressure for me, it's just the pressure to perform up to a standard that I feel is like what we're capable of every night. So it's just sometimes just mustering that extra energy when I'm feeling a little tired or a little beat up from the night before. And then again, just getting older, you know, like my body, I have to really be careful of my body, make sure that I'm not like being too hard on myself physically on stage, because it's after a couple shows in a row, I can feel my back starting to hurt, my legs starting to hurt, my arms are sore, you know, and I know everyone in the band's got their different aches and pains, and so, and everyone also has that really like high standard mentality about how they want to be able to execute their show. That's really the only pressure, so to speak, but that's pressure we put on ourselves. That's the magic of it, is really just having that support from outside of Canada, which is, you know, again, we just never expected that. And it's just, you know, trying to, you know, appreciate all that and, you know, have that gratitude for, you know, what kind of position that we're in now, and trying to use it to, you know, further our career, you know, really try and get further out there and play more countries and grow these fan bases and turn it into a thing where we could have some techs with us on the road. Would be fun and nice, and you know, getting to open for all the bands that play over here, and just the general rock scene is just amazing, so we just want to be a part of it.
So there you go. Thought that was neat. We got a bunch more of those. I'll probably be sharing a bunch of the other guys' interviews and stuff over the next, you know, the coming episodes, because there's a lot of good stuff in there that, you know, I see it on YouTube. It's funny, you know, who mentions it is my dad. Is always like, "I've got these great interviews of you guys on YouTube, and they've only got 86 views." I'm like, I don't fucking know what to tell you, Dad. Can't do anything about that. Anyways, let's call Luke. Let's call him up. He's expecting our call, as they usually are, I hope. We did a little sound check. He looked and sounded excellent. Been looking forward to this one. Let's get him going here. Luke. Doo-doot. Doo-doot. It's ringing. Bam!
Yo.
There he is. There's the boy.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you doing? How are you fucking doing?
I'm doing great, you know, just enjoying some nice isolation time and some quiet reflection.
Yeah, quiet reflection. So
yeah.
What are you doing? Are you working out? You doing the yoga? What are you doing?
Doing the Nike Fit app, doing a lot of cooking.
Yeah.
Playing the new Call of Duty, reading a lot, doing some painting.
What are you playing the Call of Duty on? What system?
I got the PS4. Kyle bought a PS4.
Oh, we got to get in on that then, because it's cross-play now. We can play together. I'm an Xbox guy.
Oh, that's true.
We can get in there. Maybe I can carry you guys into victory.
Yeah.
So as far as like timing, if this shit absolutely had to happen, it kind of couldn't have happened at a better time as far as you guys' album cycle is concerned, because you had just wrapped up a shit ton of touring.
Yeah, we did, and we didn't really have plans to be on the road for this time anyway. So,
yeah.
You know, it certainly it hasn't thrown too much of a monkey wrench in our gears, touring wise. So,
and you guys have been.
We're fortunate for that.
You're in the studio right now, or kind of in between, doing a little bit of this and that.
Yeah. Well, we were in the studio right before things kind of really turned up, but you know, we got a lot done, so we're kind of doing things right now remotely, which is an interesting experiment. But it's going very well so far.
So you guys actually aren't quarantined together. You're not in a safe pod right now, like together as a band. You're doing things remotely.
We're actually, no, we all live in the same house together, so we are together. Yeah,
how are you not killing? We did that for like 1 year, and it almost broke us. How are you doing that?
Well, I think it's because I don't know. We have a really good sense of humor between the three of us, and you know, we eat meals together, and we play music together, and a lot of good memes get thrown around that smooths over things. But,
I'm going to jump way ahead in my list of questions here, because I want you to tell me about Ross, because Ross seems like the most happy-go-lucky, positive guy. It'd be hard to be mad at Ross.
Yeah, I mean, Ross is a fucking shot of life, dude.
He
He's
is, man. He's just like so, just like uplifting.
super califragilisticexpialidocious,
That sums it
Mr.
up pretty
Man.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, okay. Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. You guys are all safe in a little group together, and you're working on music. So
Yes.
silver lining in the situation is that there's going to be wicked new nil tunes just coming at you eventually.
Yeah. We
Okay.
might be recording all just Sugar Ray covers, but you'll have to see. You'll have to wait and see.
Okay. Well, you guys have been a band since 2006, which is fucking crazy. That's like 3 years more than we have been. And I don't know early nil. Like, I don't know what you guys were like back then. And so my question is, did you guys have a moment with a song or like a record or something where all of a sudden you kind of knew exactly the direction you were going, or what it was that the band was going to be really rooted in? Or was it just like a big, long, slow, gradual shift to where you guys are now? Because that's a long fucking time.
I think there's definitely been kind of certain moments along the way where those that kind of clarity and feeling of purpose
Yeah.
was certainly acute. But I think that, we started as a band in 2006 in the summer, July of 2006.
Wow.
Just as basically something to do, because we were, when we were about, between kind of 12 and 14 years old, there was a big classic rock resurgence, and there was the Hives and the Strokes and the Vines and the Darkness and all these bands that were big on Much Music in Canada, MTV elsewhere. But there was somewhat of a classic rock renaissance, and everybody was buying guitars, and there were Squire Strat packs and Epiphone beginner packs.
Those
and
still,
stuff.
dude. Those still hit the shelves hard. They're at Walmart.
They still,
dude. They're at Best Buy now. You go into Best Buy and there's like a fucking guitar section with like line 6 amps and fucking crappy Epiphones and shit.
Oh, they got it all, dude. They got it all.
Yeah, dude. You can't even play them. They don't tune. I go in there and try and rip on them, and it's bad.
They're purely ornamental.
Yeah.
They make for good tone tips props, though.
Yeah.
I would say.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So also in that time, that movie School of Rock came out. So there was seemed like there was a very galvanized resurgence in guitar music. And so everybody was kind of growing their hair shaggy and learning how to play, trying to do their best to play Highway to Hell. And that all kind of petered out around 2005 or 2006. And really, at our school, which was Highland Secondary School, we were kind of the only two people that we knew of that wanted to still play music. And not only that, but we're serious about trying to write music and have an actual band. We had tried to have a lot of bands before that would basically consist of a bunch of guys getting together, trying to play Say It Ain't So by Weezer, and then playing video games, and then people's moms would pick them up, and that would be the only rehearsal, and then it would be over. So
yeah. Well, tell me. Okay, let me back you up there with. So when you're talking about you two, you're talking about you and Kyle, and
Yes.
and tell me about that. Like, how did you guys meet, and like what like. I was going to ask you specifically what kind of bands and music you bonded over that really like kind of solidified, like, this is the guy that I'm going to do this with.
Well, I met Kyle when I was 5 years old or maybe 6 years old in the gymnasium of Dundas, Central Park. It was called then. I don't know what they call it now. It's the Montessori school now.
Yeah.
Where Brody does the shows.
Yeah.
But we met in the gymnasium of that, I guess, and we were just kind of we became instant enemies / friends. You know how that is, like when
I've had it happen.
People.
Yeah, I've been in bands.
Yeah.
I've been in bands with guys. I was in a band a long time ago with a guy named Mike McInnes. I showed a video of us playing at TransUnion Hall Punk Show like fucking a couple episodes ago. There was one day where he wanted to fight me so bad that he was scouring the high school hallways looking for me, like, where's Jer? We're fucking fighting right now. And I just happened to be on a class trip. And like,
Nice.
and like 5 years or 6 years later, we were in a band together. But like, I just always wonder what would have happened had I just not been on that class trip and he had found me in the hallways. Like, because I've never been in a fight in my entire life. I've never had to swing a punch. I've never hit anybody in the face. But I always think about that because he's a friend of mine and we were in band together for many years. But there was a moment in time where we were supposed to like really actually fight each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens like that. So, I mean, that was Kyle and I for a long time. And Basically, when you're friends, but you're like really mean to each other when you're like kind of young teenagers, and you do stupid things to each other. But anyways, I guess basically, really things got, as I said, galvanized and unified when I remember walking around the suburbs of Kyle and be like, we got to start a band. We were both. I just remember that moment very clearly, and it was that summer, and we. The music that we were listening to was we were really into Pinkerton by Weezer
Fuck yeah.
and Live at Leeds by The Who.
Oh wow.
We were obsessed with Live at Leeds, and we really liked Master of Reality by Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And
What a nice eclectic mix.
yeah, we really we're into kind of heavy and emotional, kind of classic rock, but also like some kind of 90s music. And then, we went through my entire first few years of playing guitar was just all about Nirvana exclusively. So, but by the time I was about 15 or 16 years old, I never needed to hear another Nirvana song.
Yeah,
it's only like
that's
been
how I
recently.
feel. That's how I picked up a guitar because it smells like Teen Spirit. But if I never heard that song ever again, I'd be fine with it. Not to take anything away from it, just the fact I've listened to it 4,000 times a year for 20 years. I can't do it anymore. So
yeah, I used to deliver paper. I had a paper route that would pay me like $7 a week.
You got $7? I got like $3.50.
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, you got really ripped off. But anyways, I remember delivering papers and listening to the greatest hits of Nirvana over and over and over again. And that was like shortly before we started the band, I guess.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you this then. I have like a pretty strong opinion about this. Well, whatever. I could change it at a moment's notice. Who knows? But I don't believe in writer's block. I don't believe it's a thing. I always believe that you can just always be creating, and the quality of what you're making just has to do with how much time and effort you're putting into working on it, and eventually something good comes out. Do you ever have you felt like that? Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, fuck, I've got writer's block and nothing's coming out, or do you just find a way to battle through?
I think, for me, it's a mixture of things. Like, I definitely am a subscriber to the idea that the art of writing is the art of applying one's ass to a seat of a chair.
Yeah.
And just getting it done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can vividly remember all of the times when it felt like I was just an antenna, like picking things up that I wasn't intentionally doing.
Yes.
I took a class in university called sports psychology, and they called that the flow state, like when professional athletes, basketball players and golfers are in really high pressure situations.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Delivering, but they're not thinking about it. And I think there's a serious parallel with that and writing, but I am also a very strong believer in just trying to get the thing done. And not sitting around waiting on inspiration.
Yeah.
I think the inspiration usually comes when you're working. It doesn't really. You can't just sit on your ass waiting for something to happen.
No.
Some days it just sucks. Some days you feel like you're never gonna make something good again, and for me at least, sometimes I'm like, I'm never gonna. I'm done. I've done everything cool that I'm going to do that I like. And then one day you'll just like make a riff or something stupid, or you'll start jamming, and like you'll have a sick groove, or you'll think of a really funny line, and then it all starts again. But that's the high that I think is so, it's such a sweet, indescribable feeling of accomplishment that when it's not there, it's like you're in, the world seems gray when you can't achieve, when you're chasing those moments and not quite getting there. I have yet to, there's not really a strong relationship between how I particularly feel about a song in terms of I usually like songs that come together the easiest. Because it's just the least amount of headache.
Me too.
But people seem to not really discriminate between the songs that we've slogged away on for a year or the ones that came together in one jam that were like awesome.
Yeah.
I think generally speaking, when it comes to lyrics, I try and get the lyrics done as quickly as possible so that I can kind of stay in the zone of where I was trying to be there when I was writing them. But I think I definitely like our process, even though it's not necessarily the easiest. I talk to a lot of older bands that basically say that they started off jamming out things really hard on their first couple albums, and then they just kind of moved to a situation where they would use they would show up with an idea and develop it in the studio.
That's what we do.
Yeah, which is totally cool, and we've had some success doing that, but I think trying to do an entire album that way would give me a goddamn heart attack, because I really like jamming things out and trying to find all the little tricks and all the little moments and movements and
Happy
all these
accidents.
kinds of things. Yeah,
Where
exactly.
you're like, whoops, we fucked it up, but it was actually better that way, or whatever.
Yeah, and usually a lot of the times our kind of crop starts out with a bunch of songs that are really jammed and don't have a lot of space in them, and usually the editing process is taking things away, from every level, simplifying a drum pattern, establishing parts where there's just some space in the verses, and all that stuff. Give me 1 second. There's somebody knocking at the door here.
Oh, good. Well, here we go. This is what happens when life occurs.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah, thank you. Okay. Thanks a lot.
I'm sorry, 72.50.
Oh, give me 1 second.
What did you get?
We got a delivery, brother.
It sounds like alcohol.
It's a very, very expensive pizza. But anyways, I was talking about I think a lot of for us, we practice things to try and really find the moments and to inject as much space as possible into it, because I think our natural inclination is to fill every second with just as loud as we can make it. But
totally,
dynamics take time sometimes.
They do. Let me ask you about this then, because you mentioned lyrics. Josh Homme once said that when he writes a guitar solo, he writes the guitar solo like he's making fun of guitar solos. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was really interesting, because that's what it sounds like when you hear his solos. They sound like parodies of solos, but they're fucking so awesome. There's some of my favorite, tastiest, most unique, interesting, everything that you want in a good guitar solo. He does through the art of making fun of the act of doing the thing that he's doing. So I noticed there's almost a little parallel. I find that with your vocal melodies a little bit. Sometimes you're almost taking the piss out of pop sensibilities with the way that you approach your vocal melodies, and it ends up turning out to be something that's just super awesome, and it makes it even more catchy in the name of kind of almost I don't know, making a parody of a pop melody.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think that's a very fair assessment of our kind of general musical battle cry. I think that kind of swinging between sincerity and also ridicule. I think that, in the 21st century, being a rock and roll band, you've got to have some kind of self-awareness that that you are kind of operating in a kind of strange genre where a lot of things have already been done, if not kind of everything. But there's a vast library of things to utilize, both, as I said, sincerely and somewhat sarcastically and tongue in cheek, and that's what makes up your personality as a band, I think.
That's a perfect description.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And it's hard, being in a band called Monster Truck and playing the music that we play. It's we're very aware of what we are and what we do, and there's the fine line of success comes from accepting the fact that we're not breaking any new ground, but at the end of the day, our stylistic approach is the thing that helps us stick out, in that we sound like a lot of things, but there's no one. You can't be like one-to-one band. Like Monster Truck sounds exactly like this. It's like
No.
we've taken enough different vibes, and especially through the decades of rock music, it's like I feel like it's weird because like I found like a lot of bands that we end up seeing and playing with sometimes end up taking too much from the 70s, and it's like, what about the 90s? What about the 80s? What about like I love the 50s and the 60s, like fucking Splish Splash, I Was Taking a Bath by Bobby Darin's like one of my all-time favorite songs. It's like if I could find a way to rip that off, I would fucking do it in a heartbeat, because I feel like there's something hugely missing from today's music culture, that we don't have songs about taking a bath and hearing a partying downstairs and then having to get out of the bath and go dance with everybody. Like that's one of the greatest songs of all time. I don't get it.
It's true.
I wonder if I could play that on here. I can't play. I've had a hard time playing anything on here that's copyrighted, including our own music, which is why I asked you about what I could play by you guys. I tested out one of your older songs, and it still ended up getting yanked by.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's crazy out there. They catch anything. I tried to play like 30 seconds of a PBS fucking nature documentary, and it got me blocked. So
Wow.
it's wild times. I want to go a bit into your post-secondary education, because I think it's kind of unique that you ended up finishing psychology at Laurier.
I did, yes.
You were finishing it while the Dirty NIL was kind of breaking too.
Yeah, we were on tour. Actually, we were on tour together.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude! I can't even I don't even want to think about having to mow the lawn while I'm in the middle of a tour, and you're doing a fucking psychology degree."
Yeah, well, it was much easier to do in that situation because the finish line was that close, and I did actually study really hard for that class. There was a couple classes in the middle where in the middle of my time at university where my interest really waned. Towards the end of the time where I was actually living in Waterloo, and I was splitting my time like 3 or 4 days a week school and then 3 or 4 days a week band, and it was just like, I don't fucking want to learn about child psychology development because this is not pertinent in any way to my life.
Well, let me ask about that, because that was my second question, is what led you to even wanting to do that class? Like, did you have a job in mind that you thought you might want to do afterwards that you needed the credentials for, or was it just some interest that you had?
I think that I was kind of like, it's funny thinking back, but I think it just comes down to the fact that a 17-year-old decided that I should study psychology. You're 17 years old, you have no idea what the hell you want to do.
Exactly. Right? And so listen to what I did, because this is one of my favorite decisions I ever fucking made. So you didn't have to do grade 13, right? You were free of that?
No.
Okay, so I had to do grade 13. And up until grade 13, I had like an 85% average in high school, right? So I'm coming into my OACs, I'm applying for universities, and I was going to go for child studies because I wanted to be a teacher at the time. Meanwhile, I'm doing all my bands in the background, but I'm thinking about where I'm going to go. Brock, Nipissing, and McMaster. I had applied to all 3 universities. And halfway through my OACs, I started having that feeling of like, I don't know if I really want to fucking do this. Like, I really just want to play in my bands. Like, I don't really know what I want to do as a job. I'm probably not going to be able to make a career off playing music. But I was having this panic moment because something just didn't feel right. And I'd gotten accepted to all 3 universities, and I'd even gone as far to visit Nipissing campus and see what it looked like. And, it's fucking log cabins in the middle of a goddamn forest. And I was like, I like nature, but like not that much.
Yeah. It's a commitment.
Yeah. And so it got down to the halfway through the second semester, and I was like, I don't think I can fucking do this. And I purposely shit-canned all of my final classes so that I became ineligible, because I didn't have the guts to tell my parents and my dad, who was like, you have to go to university, that I have to fucking do this. And I was like, the only way out of this at this point is bombing all my classes and becoming...
Just torpedo them all.
I did. And that was it. And I didn't have to go. And then I ended up fucking having to be forced to work at fucking Cashway, Rona, and do woodwork bullshit. And then eventually I was like, I'm going to do graphic design and go to Mohawk College, because I like designing CD sleeves and tape sleeves for my bands, which ended up being a whole other ball of wax. But anyways, I was wondering if that might be the case. Like, you're 17 years old, you got to take something, you got to go to fucking university. And so that was part of it then, I guess.
Yeah, and I think, and for me, like in second year university, there was when things kind of get serious and you really get into the stream that you originally signed up for. things get more specified. I really did genuinely have somewhat of an inclination to follow that as a profession because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But basically, the stream that I was enamored with would require extensive schooling, and by the time I got to third year, we had Fucking Up Young already going, so I was like, "Fuck this!
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna be a rock star."
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna wrap this up, but I thought my brain doesn't work, and I don't remember what happened. But you got a 59 junior TV Yellow Junior.
57. 50, I'm just borrowing it, but yes.
You're just okay. That just makes me feel a lot better because if you own that guitar, yeah. I have a hard time not being upset about that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Does it sound fucking incredible? I've listened to it on I think a couple Instagram videos, but like I haven't experienced it in the flesh.
I really think that the late 50s to like kind of 1961 juniors I just don't think you can really beat them in terms of their sound and their feel. I think that's. Is it got the baseball neck? The big thick. It's got a big neck on it, which I don't mind at all. But it gets they get slimmer as towards the end, like 1960. But yeah. I really just think that that's the best sonically and feel that Gibson ever did in terms of a musical instrument. It's so funny too because you look at a real junior and you think that basically a bunch of guys sat in a boardroom and said, "What's the least amount of things we can put together and still call it a guitar?" Yeah, and that is the junior, and the junior is. It's the meanest, most articulate sounding guitar. And, even with the wraparound bridge, like they were real professionals making those things back in the day. So the intonation is really, really dead on with a good one. They work well back then. The ones they make now with those wraparound bridges are a fucking nightmare. But they're not the same. No, the way that they were doing it back then is just way more pro. And you know what's funny? You describe what happened with the building of that guitar, and it almost draws parallel to your band because you have the least amount of members you can have while producing the sonic landscape that you guys produce. So it probably is the fucking perfect guitar for you. You just got to get one now. I just got to get one. Yeah, exactly. Well, fuck, man. Thanks for coming on. It's my pleasure. Yeah. Best of luck with everything with the writing and living with your band because I don't know how you do that. And we're loving it. And enjoy your pizza / 3 cases of beer. That's what it actually sounds like. All right, Ian. All right. Great to talk to you. Yeah. You have a good one, man. Yeah, take care. See you, buddy. You too. Well, shit. What a nice guy Luke is. Fuck, he had some great answers there, man. I knew I was going to like talking to him. He had a lot of great stuff to say, and I really do love their fucking band, man. They're a great band live. They're a great band on record. Their last album is fucking fantastic. I think they released the wrong single first, but... the one, I don't know the actual name of it because I'm a dick, but the one that I wanted them to release as a single was the one that was like, I Don't Want That Phone Call. I thought that fucking song was absolute smasher hit. But anyways, check out the Dirty NIL. I'll have a link in the description after the live feed is over. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. J. Harvey and the Inner Demons. Played that earlier. Hit the rewind button if you want to see Marv's new solo project song that he just dropped out for us, and that's going to be in the description as well. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and I hope everyone stays healthy and stays isolated and is feeling good and not going crazy. Thanks for tuning in. Quarantine Hang episode 5. Out! 'Cause you are a toad!